Hi friends, it's Haya Grossberg here to share with you part 2 of the zine 23 Myths About Psychiatric Drugs. This is part of a 3-part zine series which I just created as a way to help spread the word about psychiatry in the real world, like off the internet, if that's something you want to try, like printing out these zines and giving them to people or putting them places. So I'm going to continue to share with you the rest of this zine, starting from the middle. If you want to see the first part, check out the last video that I just made. So we're starting with psych drugs increase functionality. This is not true in the long term because they cause organ damage and damage to the body, fatigue, adrenal fatigue, and all kinds of kidney, liver, and other internal organ problems when taken long term. Psych drugs get people out of bed more than they flatten people in bed, again, by causing adrenal exhaustion and stress on the internal organs. In the long term, they usually end up making people more and more tired and unable to function and stay awake. Psychiatric drugs reduce disability rates. Again, same line of thought, and it's also been shown that as the increase in psychiatric drug prescribing has occurred, the increase in disability rates has coincided with that, and you can read actually about that in some of Bob Whitaker's literature, including Anatomy of an Epidemic. He does a lot of research on that topic. Psych drugs make people feel like themselves again. I've always hated that one. That's the worst myth possible. How can a drug make you more yourself? Like a pharmaceutical that is being designed to sort of alter your brain responses. It's just not, it's not the case. It just depends how you define yourself. But if you define yourself in terms of like needing your brain chemicals to be manipulated, then that's not like you being yourself again. That's maybe you or someone being a certain way in which they prefer. That's possible, but it's definitely not going to make someone more themselves. Psychiatric drugs help children learn better. This is another myth that is being told to increase prescribing amongst children, but really what they do in some cases is help children behave in an oppressive system better, perhaps, or perhaps decrease their natural instincts or impulses, like subdue them. The main problem with psychiatric drugs is the stigma against taking them. That's another myth I really dislike because it's used to kind of turn things around and make it seem as though it's wrong to be critical of psychiatry. It's kind and caring to suggest psych drugs to family and friends. That's questionable. We have to ask ourselves whether we're actually caring for other people, or if someone is suggesting psychiatric drugs to their family and friends, maybe they're trying to make things more convenient for themselves. Forcing psychiatric drugs on someone against their will is compassionate. We know that is not true. Psychiatric drugs should be used preventatively in children and pregnant women. These are both extremely dangerous circumstances to use psychiatric drugs, and they absolutely should not be used preventatively in anyone because there are no actual biological, mental illness, chemical imbalance processes that psychiatric drugs can preventatively cure or keep at bay or prevent. And finally, psychiatric drugs are safer than illegal drugs. That is another myth, and most illegal drugs are actually safer than psychiatric drugs. And in a lot of cases, they're equally unsafe, but one comes with a prescription. For example, opiates are pretty much equally unsafe whether they're prescribed by a doctor or gotten on the street. In some cases, doctor-prescribed drugs are more unsafe because people feel safer taking them and they take them more and for a longer period of time, and sometimes people actually know more about the withdrawal of illicit drugs than psychiatric drugs, because any illegal substance, it's like a given that there are going to be withdrawal effects in most cases. But with psychiatric drugs, people aren't even told, so they assume it's a safe medicine and that they can just stop taking it, just like they do with any other ordinary medicine that their doctor prescribed, for example, like an allergy drug or something like that. You can just stop taking it, although actually those can have withdrawal effects too, and can have long-term effects on the body that make it harder to adapt to allergens. So those are the 23 myths. This was part 2. If you would like to have a copy of this zine, go to my website, hayagrossberg.com, donate any amount, and I will send you a template to print out. Thank you.